Hello student, how are you? I hope you are safe and healthy. Today we are going to learn producer behavior and cost of production, part of microeconomics. After going through this lesson, you will be able to know the meaning of production function and its type, the meaning of total, average and marginal production, relationship between average and marginal production, law of variable proportion and the three stages of production, cost of production and its type, meaning of TC, that is total cost, fixed cost, total variable cost, average variable cost, average fixed cost, average cost and marginal cost, relationship between average cost and marginal cost, computation of the cost. So these are the part we are going to learn from this video. So carefully learn, go through it. Now what is production function? Obviously you know it, the production involve transformation of input such as capital, equipment, labor and land into the output of goods and services. We know the four factors of productions are there. They are land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, and with the help of this input, the producer is producing the goods and services. So this production is combined, these inputs are combined to produce the output is the that is the firm technology. So thus production function refers to technical relationship between physical input and physical output at any particular time period. Symbolically, Q is equal to function of land, labor, capital, raw material, technology, etc. So Q is output, R is raw material, L for labor, LD for land, K for capital, T for technology. So with the help of these factors of production, the producer establishes the technical relationship. That means with the help of technology, they are able to produce the output with the help of physical input. So we are talking about over here the goods, not the services. Over here we just physical input and physical output. So under that means the next lesson which we are going to learn with the help of that, the what are the how the that input, uh, all these input, the producer is employed to produce the only the goods, not we are discussing about services. So physical commodity or physical output. Now production function are basically the two type. One is short run production function and long run production function. In the short run production function, the one factor, that is labor, of the production is variable and all other factors are fixed, because very short run producer is not able to change any other factors of production like land or capital or the entrepreneurship or expansion of the business. They cannot do in the very short run. If they want to change the production, only by changing the labor variable factor, and I'm assuming that this variable factor is labor. So due to very short period of time, it is not possible for the producer to make change in all input. Thus the production can be changed only by changing the variable factor, that is called labor. So fixed factor are fixed during short run because it cannot be changed within very short run. As I said that you cannot buy the land immediately as you decide today and tomorrow you will not get the land. It's require a lot of times to procure it, to buy it, because lot of documentation, legal procedure is there, so you will not get it in the short run. So if you want to increase your production, you have to just increase the number of labor to employ it, or if you want to decrease your production, you just decrease the labor number of labor. So that's how you increase or decrease your production just by employing the labor, or just taking off the labor from the work. So that's how the short run production function. Under long run production function, all factors of production are variable. So that land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, all are variable in the long run, because you get long time to change it. So that's the law of return to scale applied over here, and it is called the constant proportion type of production function. It is the time period in which is enough to make change all input. All inputs are variable in this long run. In this, level of production can be changed by changing all inputs. So in the long run production function, that all the factors can be changed, whereas in the short run only one factor can be changed, that is called labor. In the long run, law of return to scale is applied, whereas in the short run, law of variable proportion is operate over there. In the short run, in the law of variable proportion operate over here. In long run, all factors are variable. In the short run, only one factors are variable. I think this is the difference. Sometimes your question comes that what is the difference between short run production function and long run production function. So this part you will be learning over here. Over here, law of variable proportion works. Over here, law of return to scale is applied. So it is also known as constant proportion type of production function. So these are different difference between the short run and long run production function. So we'll be learning more about the short run production function, but long run production function is not in our syllabus, so we are not going to learn any further for the long run. In the higher class you will be learning that long run production function, that is law of return to scale, how it is operate in the production long run production. For CBSE class 11 we have only the short run production function, that means law of variable proportion we are going to learn it. So now, due to short run production function, we are going to now learn the different variable proportion, that is the fixed factor and variable factor. We are going to learn it now. The fixed factor are the factors of production which cannot be varied practically in the short run, that is the land, machinery, capital. This cannot be changed in the short run. So the fixed factor are fixed during this short run, and as I have given example here, the land, machinery, capital, etc., you cannot change during the short run. That's why it is called fixed. It is remain unchanged throughout the production, whether you produce or not produce, whether you more produce or less produce, does not matter. These factors of production will be remain as it is in your production process. Now next one is variable factor. These factors which quantity can be changed with the volume of production. As you produce more, you require more. As you produce less, your less require. If you don't produce, you don't require. So these are the example is given over here: land, raw material, etc. These are different uh, example of variable factors. So we have two type of factors is there. Later on we will be learning that fixed factor. Due to that fixed factor, fixed cost is there. Due to variable factor, there is a variable factors are there. Now we are going to learn the total product or total physical products. The meaning of total product and total physical product. They're same, TPP or TP. The total product is defined as total number of unit produced with the given fixed and variable input during a particular time. So total output produced with the help of fixed and variable factors during a particular time is known as the total product, TP, or total physical product, that is TPP. Both are same things. Do not get confused. So next one is the average product or average physical product. Both are same things, AP or APP. So average product is defined as the ratio between the total product and number of unit of variable factors. It is the per unit production of variable factors. So average product is the ratio of total product and the number of the unit of variable factor is used for producing that product. So it's basically the total product divided by number of variable factor or unit of variable factor. So if we derive the formula, AP is equal to TP divided by, TP means total product, divided by number of variable factor, and number of variable factor we discuss over here in the short run is labor. So every time you have to divide by the labor, number of labor used, total product. So next one is marginal product or MP, or marginal physical product, that is MPP. So marginal product refers to the change in total product resulting from the employment of an additional unit of a variable factor. By employing an additional unit of variable factor, what is the change in total product, that is known as the marginal product or marginal physical product. It is, the formula is MP is equal to TPN minus TPN minus 1, or TP is equal to delta TP, delta means change, so delta TP divided by delta L, L means over here labor, so change in labor, so change in total product divided by change in labor, or delta TP divided by delta L, so number of labor employed for producing the product. So that's the marginal product, average product, and total product. So now based on this concept, we are going to know the or compute the total product or marginal product, how we'll compute it. So over here MP, as we know, discuss over previous slide, that MP is equal to delta TP by delta L. So we'll be using over here unit. So let's see that the zero, your labor employment is 0, total product is 0. As your labor is increased, as you employed one after one another, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then your total product is increased over here, that is 30, 90, 130, 160, 180, 190. So total product is increasing as you increase the number of labor for in your production process. So now we'll calculate the MP. So the first case, you will see over here that the change of labor as 0 to 1, your change in labor is equal to 1, and total production is changing 30 minus 0, 30 minus 0 means 30, so your total production is 30. So in the first labor employed, your marginal product become 0. In the first case we put it dash because we do not have any information over here to get subtract over here. So when your MP is calculated, so we generally put the dash over here because we do not have sufficient information. But in case of marginal revenue, when we compute it, we will be putting the value over here, because we know if you do not sell anything, you will get 0. That's why previous value we generally at the 0 level, you will get 0 obviously. So now next part, we will go to the second one. We will go for the second employment of the labor. You will find the change of labor from 2 to 1, we get change of labor is equal to 1, whereas the total product change is 90 minus 30, will get 60. So 90 minus 30, if you get 60, so your MP is equal to delta TP by delta L, that means 60 by 1, you will get 60. Next we'll go to the third stage. You also get it over here, the 40 over here. If you minus it, 130 minus 40, you will get 40, and labor change is 1. So the fourth stage, when your number of labor is employed to fourth unit, you will get it over here that only one changes is there, and the production increase is 160 by as you employed 4 unit, but your total product change is 30. So 30 divided by 1, you will get 30. So the next one will be going over here, that 4/5 unit of labor, and 5th unit of labor, your change is equal to 1, and your delta TP means total production is change is equal to 20. So 20 by 1 is equal to 20. So on, you will go on calculation, you will get it the TP. So TP also 10. So now how we will calculate the from MP to TP. Now look at over here, first part obviously it is 0, this 30 will come as 30, this one 30, then you will go on cumulative addition, 30 plus 60 is equal to 90. Look at the pointer over here, 30 plus 60 is equal to 90, 90 plus 40 you will get 130, 130 plus 30 you will get 160, 160 plus 20, you will get 120. 180. 180 plus 10, you will get 190. So this how we will calculate TP and MP. MP can be calculated from TP and TP can be calculated from MP. So that's the computation of total product and marginal product. Now look at some total product and marginal product behavior. We'll check it over here. If I take it the total product, the line which I have drawn over here, total product, you will be seeing because it is happening due to the law of variable proportion, you will see over here the behavior over here, that the first unit of labor employed, you will find the delta Q, just Q is the hiring of the delta L is the hiring of the first labor, and then go on the second one. If you second, you will find it the 60 is difference. Just by employing the second labor, you will get the second labor give you the more and more production, that is 60 difference between the 30 and 90, you will get 60 over here. Next you will go to the third employment, you will get 130. So look at the changes. One over here is changing one, but then production slowly decreasing. The first one to second one is, look at the pattern is going to change. Over here, see the difference. If you check it, over here 60, over here is 40, then 30, and slowly you will go to the other part, you will get it over here is 180, that is 20, and then 190. So likewise, and then furthermore, when you go on employing more after 6th unit, if you go, then you will find the total production start decreasing. So this is very clear that the behavior of the total product we learn through a law which called the law of variable proportion, and why it is operating, that part we are going to learn it. So that is the first part, we call it the increasing marginal return, and the second one is called diminishing marginal return, and the third part we will call it the negative marginal return. So these all detail we are going to learn it the next part. So it's a relationship between TP and MP, and TP and MP, you will see that the average product will be curved like that, and the MP is drawn like that. This is the MP marginal product. Marginal product behavior is that it will just in the initial stage it will be higher than the AP, and then it will be decreasing, intersecting the point of the highest point of the AP. At the AP where it is highest point, that highest point intersecting that MP and move to the negative zone. That is the behavior of the MP and AP. So this relationship we establish over here, that the left side of E will just okay, we'll just discuss it this point. When MP is MP greater than AP, look at MP, this part up to third unit or up to fifth unit, and this point also you can check it, that when MP is greater than this, up to E is greater then AP is bottom down here. The blue line, blue curve is showing. So when MP is greater than AP rises. AP is rising. It's a upward trend, rising. When MP is equal to AP, this point, E point, AP is maximum and constant. AP is maximum in this point, maximum, and it's constant, and because of that the MP intersecting the AP at this point, and in this point the slope of two curves will be equal. That's why it is MP is equal to AP. Next one, when MP is less than AP, MP, look at in this after beyond this E, the MP is less, AP is also AP is greater, MP is lesser. So in that case AP falls, average products declining. Next one is MP may be 0, negative. MP is this point is positive. Over in this x-axis is 0, and below this x-axis is negative. So MP, but AP always positive. AP always comes positive. So that's the another relationship. Now AP increases, AP is increases even when MP falls. Now between these 3 and 5, these 3 and 5, you will find the AP is increasing whereas MP is decreasing. Marginal products is decreasing. So should lie above the AP. So now over here this diagram is showing over here left of E, MP is greater than AP and AP is increasing. Right of E, right side E, MP greater than MP less than AP and AP is decreasing. At point E, MP and AP are equal. AP is constant and maximum. At the point the over here 8.8 unit of production, the MP is 0 because it is intersecting x-axis and the output is maximum. In that case, in the 8 point, the output will be maximum. We will be learning the different diagram the next slide. Then this is the law of variable proportion. Under this law of variable, what is that law of variable proportion? Law of variable proportion states that as more and more of the variable factors are combined with the given quantity of fixed factor, the total production will increase, but beyond some point total production becomes smaller and smaller. So that part is the law of variable proportion is said. So as more and more variable factor keeps on increasing with the given of fixed factor, the law states that because of the variable proportion, the amount, the output passes through the three different stages, and they are increasing return to variable factor, diminishing return to a variable factor, and negative return to a variable factor. So these are three different stages. What are the assumption? We are assuming that only one factors are variable, that is labor, and other factors are remain fixed. The variable factor is increased by an equal amount each time. That is one every time one unit we are increasing it. The state of technology remain fixed. So that is the another assumption we are taking it. Now based on these assumption, now we will be drawing of schedule and diagram. You will find it over here our fixed factor. I'm assuming that fixed factors are labor, land and capital. We are taking land, I am taking 1 acre and 1 lakh capital. Our entrepreneur started with the 1 acre land and 1 lakh capital, and every time it is fixed because of it is fixed factor, it is every time fixed. Now variable factor, that is labor, is getting changed every time one by one. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 like that. Now why it is proportion? Proportion, if you check it over here, if I take it, this one is 2, 1 plus 1 2. If I take the numerical value only, 2 is to 1, fixed factor and variable factor. Look at the proportion, 2 is to 1, 2 is to 2, 2 is to 3, 2 is to 4, 2 is to 5, 2 is to 6, 2 is to 7, 2 is to 8. So like that proportion get changed, variation is there. So that's why it is called proportion. And law of variable proportion, as we increase it every time the variable factor in combination of the fixed factor, that is the proportion saying, and then you will find the total production is passing through the three stages of production: the stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. What are these stages? First stage is called increasing return. Look at marginal product over here is 6, 12, 16. It is increasing, 6, 12 and 16. It is increasing. Total product also increasing, 6, 18, 34. It is increasing. It's just computation. 6 is just adding. I said it earlier, 6 plus 12, 18, 18 plus 16, 34, 34 plus 10. It is just computation, numerical value. And I told before how to compute it, MP and AP. So now over here, that first stage, you will find the marginal production is increased and total product also increase. In the second stage, you will find the marginal product is decreasing and tends to 0, 10, 6 and 0. But total production is increasing, 44, 50 and 50 is constant, where it is maximum, that's why it is 0 and constant. Maximum it's constant and 0. Marginal production is 0. When it is 0, total production is maximum and constant. This 50 and 50 constant. Now as you increase more number of labor, 7th unit, you will find minus. MP is getting the minus over here, means negative return you will get it from the additional 1 unit of labor employed, that is 7th labor give you the negative return, and the 8th one is again giving the negative, and that's why total production starts on declining. So that's one, if you put it in a diagram you will find total production is curve is looks like this, and then marginal production is also, if you plot it you will get it like that, and you will find this the x-axis where it is intersecting x-axis it become 0, and because MP is 0, and at this point you will find the total production is maximum, D point is the maximum, at the D point output is maximum, and the point over here up to third point this is stage 1, and because it is production is increase at increasing rate, that's why it is called the first stage is known as the production marginal production increase at increasing rate. Next one, total production is increase, second stage total production 44 to 50 increase but decreasing rate, so that's why it is diminishing rate of return, increasing rate of return first stage, diminishing return to a variable factor, that is second stage, and the negative return over here the MP is negative, so TP is fall down, is declining, decreasing, MP is negative, so that's what it is called third stage is known as the diminishing return to a variable factor. So now we'll go for illustrating this. You have to imagine all this, you have to keep in mind this diagram and schedule, and the next one will be discussing this one in the illustration part. Now over here, let's the firm has 1 acre of land, whatever I have discussed it, and 1 lakh capital, which is remain fixed as you increase the number of labor and output increase at varying proportion and passes through the 3 different stages as shown in the following previous schedule and diagram. And the stage 1 is known as the increasing return to a variable factor. Stage 1 is known as increasing return to a variable factor. At this stage, total production increase at increasing rate, marginal production rises and reach to its maximum. Thus, this stage starts from the origin to the point where the MP is maximum in production schedule, as it is this stage lasts till 3 unit of labor employed. So it is increased at increasing rate. The production every time marginal production is increasing. That's why total production is increased at increasing rate. The second stage is known as the diminishing return to a variable factor. In this stage, total production increase at diminishing rate till it reaches to its maximum point. Marginal product fall continuously till it equal to 0. So in the production schedule, we have seen that from 4th unit to 6th unit labor employed, the total production is increasing but at diminishing rate, and at the 6th unit it gets the maximum production, that is 50. So that's the highest production, top production, maximum production. And the third stage is the negative return to a variable factor. In this stage, the total production falls continuously but it's positive. The total marginal product is negative as we increase the number of variable factor, and the production schedule we have seen the beyond the 7th unit of labor employed, total production is decline because the marginal product is negative. 7th and 8th, if you remember it, 7th is giving -2 and 8th is giving -3, and because of that total production decline, and the it is known as negative return to a variable factor. Now why this is happening? This is the reason for the why it increasing, why it is decreasing, why it is constant. These are reason part is that the first one is that increasing return to a variable factor occur due to increasing application of variable factor, which lead to increase in marginal product. So increasing application of variable factor with the fixed factor will lead to the increase in marginal product. That is one reason. Greater application of the variable factor facilitate better division of labor and fuller utilization of the fixed factor, along with the better coordination among the different factors, lead to increasing return to a variable factor. If you go on increasing the labor initially, you will be the division of labor is possible, and due to which the fixed factor combination, better coordination is possible with the fixed factor. As a result, your total production is increased and marginal production also increase, and that's what the increasing return to a variable factor is possible. Now causes of diminishing return to a variable factor. First one is fixity of the factor. So fixed factor, since it is remain fixed and combined with the variable factor, you will find that once it is utilized, you will not be able to, by employing more and more labor, you will not be able to more fixed factor, and that's why it's a limited is there. That's the production start increasing, but it at diminishing rate. As more and more unit of labor are combined with a fixed factor, poor coordination between the factors take place, hence the marginal product of variable factors slowly decline. Now next one is the variable factor. Variable factors of production are imperfect substitute of each other, hence marginal production of variable factor starts declining. So these are the different reasons for diminishing return to a variable factor. Next one is causes of negative return to a variable factor. The first cause is the poor coordination between fixed factor and variable factor. Overcrowding will be there. More and more labor is there, but then limited number of fixed factor is there. More labor is there, so they just simply kept idle or just gossip or look what other people are doing, other people are talking. So is the marginal product, means the production gets the slowly it starts negative return, the total production will decrease, and the overutilization of the fixed factor, that is another reason for the negative return to a variable factor. So these are the three different stages and the causes of this, the why it is increasing return, why it is diminishing return, and why it is negative return to variable factor. This is the law of variable proportion operate under the short run production function. Now it's over here one question arises that which stage become appropriate stage or ideal stage a producer. So obviously when you are getting maximum production under stage 2, so stage 2 appropriate or ideal position for a producer to operate under stage 2. So if stage 2 he is operating, then his production will be maximum and the objective of profit maximization will be fulfilled if the producer wants to operate or operate under stage 2. So that is law of variable proportion. Now we'll go for the cost of production. So cost of production, cost of producing. What is cost of production? Cost of production of a commodity is the payment of factors of production. We know it, the different factors are there: land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, and each factors has the cost is there. Like land has cost of rent, labor cost is wages, capital is interest or dividend, or yes, dividend, and the entrepreneur is normal profit, or simply we call it profit, but then that profit is the opportunity cost of the entrepreneur. So these are the total cost. If you go on adding of rent, wages, interest, and the opportunity cost of the owner, if you go on adding it, you will get the total cost of production. Now explicit cost. Explicit cost means the money expenditure incurred by the firm for purchase or hiring the factory input of for production is called explicit cost. These are entered in the books of accounts. For example, payment of wages, rent, interest, purchase of raw material, etc. As you just outsider, any factors of production you get it outside, and for which you make the payment, and that if you make the payment or and then you get it or you hire it, then it is known as explicit cost. Now implicit cost. Implicit cost are the cost which is self-owned resources of the production used in the production process, or it is estimated value of input supplied by the owner itself. These are not entered in the books of accounts. For example, interest on own capital. Own capital means the owner is contributed his own capital. Rent of own building, and labor, family labor, etc. A lot of example is there. Implicit cost, that means from the family whatever contribution made by the employer, that is known as the producer, that is come under the implicit cost, and the implicit and explicit together is known as the economic cost. So economic cost is the sum total of explicit and implicit cost. Now we have the short term cost. Short term, since we learn it, our syllabus is limited to short term only. So short term production cost, what are the different costs are there? So it is total cost. First one is total cost, then average cost, and then marginal cost. So this part we are three type of cost we are learning over here. Each one is total cost, average cost, and marginal cost. Total cost again classified into total fixed cost and total variable cost, TFC and TVC. And now average cost, that is AC. AC is average fixed cost and average variable cost. Average fixed cost, average variable cost. Okay, now next one is marginal cost. We do not have any classification. Now we go detail all these different type of cost. Total cost refers to the total amount of money which is incurred by the firm on production of the given amount of a commodity. The total cost is sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost. So that is TC is equal to TFC plus TVC. TC is equal to TFC plus TVC. Formula is there, or TC is equal to AC into Q. AC means average cost multiplied by number of output produced. Q means output produced. So AC multiplied by Q, you will get total cost. Now next one is total fixed cost. Total fixed cost, it is the total cost. It is also called supplementary cost, and it is the total expenditure incurred by the producer for employing the fixed factors, and for example rent of land and building, interest on labor, interest on capital, license fee. And TFC is equal to, formula is there, TFC is equal to TC minus TVC, or TFC is equal to AFC into Q. Now TFC, total fixed cost, it's because of that it is remaining fixed throughout the production. Total fixed cost remain constant all level of output. It is remain unchanged even at the zero level of output. It is remain same. Total cost is not going to change. It will be whether you produce or not produce, if you more produce or less produce, does not matter, it will remain same. Therefore TFC curve is parallel to x-axis, and total cost at the zero level of output is equal to the fixed cost. So these are the, if you draw it the curve, you will get TFC curve is parallel to the x-axis. At the zero level of production, TFC is fixed. 1, 2, 3, any level of production, TFC is fixed. Total fixed cost is fixed. And the zero level of output and total cost is equal to total fixed cost is equal to TC. TC is equal to TFC. At the zero level of output, TC is equal to TFC. Remember this point, I am repeating this one because numerical question, when you solve it, this point is required. At the zero level of production, at zero, when output is zero, TC is equal to TFC. So that is the total fixed cost. Now total variable cost. Total variable cost is vary with the volume of production or output produced. It is zero at the zero level of output, and TVC curve is parallel to TC curve. For example, the total variable cost of raw material, electricity cost, and TVC is equal to TC minus TFC. TVC is equal to ABC into Q. These are the formula you have to remember. TVC is equal to TC minus TFC, or another formula, TVC is equal to ABC into Q. Now feature is what? Feature is, it is zero when output is zero. It is increased with the increase in output. It is decreased with the decrease in output. Initially TVC increases at diminishing rate due to law of variable proportion. Law of variable proportion, remember, in the first stage it is increasing return to scale, return to a variable factor, then diminishing return to a variable factor, then negative return to a variable factor. This is operate, and due to which the variable cost curve initially it is less, and slowly it will be in the at the second stage it will be lesser because production is maximum. That's why the total variable cost will be less, and then as the production decline, variable cost also increases. And that's what you will find the TVC curve. It starts when it is zero, production zero. As it is increased, the total production increase, but it will decrease when your output is maximum. It is slowly, instead of going straight up, it will be declined, little decline over here. And that's the, and the production, as when production decline, you will find the TVC is increasing sharply, and then it is parallel to TC, because TC is equal to TVC plus TFC. If you add it, then you will find this is the difference of fixed cost, and this difference also, the TC and TVC difference, is known as the TFC. and that's why it is parallelly move both the curve TC and TVC. So we learn it TFC, which is parallel to x-axis, and TVC, it starts from origin, it reverse S shape, and TC also reverse S shape, is behaving like a TVC. And TVC, why it is behaving reverse S shape? Because it follows the law of variable proportion in the short run, as we have learned it. And by adding the TFC and TVC, we get TC curve, which is parallel with the TVC. Now, average cost curve. Average cost is the per unit cost of production of a commodity. It's sum of average fixed cost and average variable cost. AC is equal to TC by Q. This is the per unit cost. That's why AC is equal to TC, total cost, by total output produced, or AC is equal to AFC plus ABC. Now, average cost, look at it, looks like a U shape. It is just like a U shape. It is initially it is decreased and reach to the lowest level, minimum level, then it starts rising. That's why UC curve, AC curve is looks like a U shape curve. Next one is average fixed cost curve. Average fixed cost curve is the ratio of TFC and total output produced, and that's the formula is TFC divided by Q. AFC is equal to AC minus ABC. Two formula is there. AFC is equal to TFC by Q. AFC is equal to AC minus ABC. So AC means average cost minus average variable cost. The feature of AFC is that AFC diminishes when increase in output. AC is diminish as increase in output. AFC curve is rectangular hyperbola, and it never intersect x-axis or y-axis. So that's what you will find it over here. One AFC curve, it starts from the upper part, slowly it is decreased and moving slope downwards to the right and moves like that, but it never intersect x-axis or y-axis. It moves as it is, as decreasing. So it's never, because your fixed cost is present, remain as it is. Whatever number of output is produced does not matter, fixed cost is remain same, and as you multiply dividing by the number of output produced, some amount of average fixed cost will be present. That's why it never zero. That's the reason. Now next one is average variable cost curve. It's the per unit variable cost of production of a commodity. Average cost curve also U shape and due to the law of variable proportion. Formula is ABC is equal to TVC by Q, or ABC is equal to AC minus ABC. Formula you have to ABC is equal to TVC by Q, or ABC is equal to AC minus AFC. So you will find this is U shape, like a U shape. ABC it's just, initially it is decreased and reach to the lowest and then sharply increase following law of variable proportion. Now marginal cost curve, as is defined in the as a marginal cost is defined as the addition to the total cost for producing an additional unit of output. It is the addition to the total cost for producing an additional unit of output. So that's the MC is equal to TCN minus TCN minus 1. That is for producing one additional unit of for producing one additional unit of output, what is the change in total cost? That is the marginal cost, or MC is equal to TC delta TC by delta Q, that is change in total cost divided by change in output. Or another formula is there in the short run. This formula is for short run only. MC is equal to change in total variable cost divided by change in output, because variable cost present only in the short run, fixed cost and variable cost present in the short run only. Now look at the AC curve, as you said we have learned it earlier, and at the lowest point of the AC the MC is intersecting and it's move rising, it keeps on rising, and that's the MC curve. MC both are U shape, but then at the lowest point of AC the MC intersect the AC. Now what is the relationship? You will find over here relationship. I have given one hypothetical figure, numerical figure over here. Output is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. TC, I have just put it some figure over here, keeping in constant keeping in mind of the certain factors that your this relation should be maintained. That's what the TC is computed. TC is same way, you will just go on adding, you will find it the AC TC, if you divide by that 10 divided by 0, you will get it infinitive undefined. 20 divided by 1, 20, 28 divided by 2, 14, 34 divided by 3, 11.3. Okay, like that it will calculate it. Now MC, how it is calculated? First one I said it, this it will not be possible to calculate, that's why we will put dash, and then 20 minus 10, that is 10, 28 minus 20, you will get 8, 38 minus 28, 34 minus 28, you will get 6, 38 minus 34, 4. So likewise it will get it the computation over here. So now if you establish that relationship over here, you will find that when AC is falling, AC is greater than MC. When AC is falling, AC is greater than MC. MC is below, AC is up there. So till 6th unit of output, you will find it this behavior is there. When AC is minimum, this point, AC is equal to MC at the 7th unit of labor. Over here 7th unit, look at both are 8. So both are 8. So in this case also lowest point, this is the lowest point. Over here 8 and the lowest point, and then lowest point MC is equal to AC. Now MC cut AC at the lowest point, that is at point C. We get it over here, and both AC and MC curve are looks like U shape. So that is the relationship between AC and MC. Now we solve certain numerical problem. Let's see, the question is given over here, and the question are the total cost of a firm is given, and average fixed cost is given 20. 20 is average fixed cost when they are producing, firm is producing third unit, and total TVC, you have to calculate the TVC and ATC. ATC means average cost or AC. Now output is 1, 2, 3, 4. MC is given 70, 60, 62, 72. Now let's do it. This one, the information is whatever information given. Your output is 1, 2, 3, 4. MC is given 70, 60, 62 and 72, and AFC given in the third unit. Third unit, as question is given third unit, it is 20. Now due to third unit AFC, and we get TFC. TFC is equal to AFC into Q. So in the AFC into Q means this is 20 into 3. We'll get it 60 is the TFC. Since we get the 60, and all 60 will be coming over here, because fixed cost will be remain as it is. 160 means every level of production will be 60. Now we'll go on. Next one is TVC. TVC is equal to summation, means accumulated addition of MC. So now MC will go on accumulative addition. 70 will be first stage, 70 will come over here, and then we'll go on adding. That 70 plus 60 will get it here 130. Again 130 into a plus 62 will get the figure 192. So now next one is 192 plus 72, you will get it over here figure 264. So that's the cumulative addition of marginal cost is the total variable cost. Now our question is to find the TVC. So we got TVC. Now ATC. To find the ATC we require TC. First we will find TC. TC is equal to TFC plus TVC. So we will go on adding this two part. So 60 plus 70 will get 130. 60 plus 130 will get 190. 60 plus 192 will get 252. 60 plus 264 324. So that's the TC. Now TC divided by Q will get AC. ATC or AC, average total cost or average cost, simply average cost. Do not get confused. T is nothing over here, you just remove this T, will get AC. So average total cost, or simply it is called AC. So AC is equal to TC by Q. So TC by Q will divide it, 130 by 1 will get 130. Now 190 by 2, 95. 252 divided by 3, you will get 84. Next one is 324 divided by 4, you will get 81. So that's how we calculate this question. Now we will solve one more question. We'll see. Complete the following table. This is the table. We have to, some incomplete data is given. You have to fill up this blank one. So now we solve it this one. The information is like that, it is not there. We'll calculate the first one. We'll go for the first level, that is ABC. Now this is 10. ABC means TVC over here. ABC means TVC by Q. So since your 10 is there, TVC is equal to, over here 10 is given, 10 divided by 1 will get 10. So now MC in the first level it will be dash, as I said earlier. Now next, second level. Second level will be adding it to get the TVC. As I said, TVC is equal to summation of cumulative addition of marginal cost. So you go on adding this 6, 10 plus 6, you will get it over here 16. So that is the 16. So 16 divided by ABC, you will get it, the formula output is equal to TVC divided by ABC. TVC divided by ABC. Formula is, if you remember it, ABC is equal to ABC is equal to TVC by Q. So if you just change the positions side, you will get it, output is equal to TVC by ABC. So you will get second unit, 2 unit. Now over here third stage over here, ABC is not there, whereas TVC is given. So ABC is equal to TVC by Q. 27 divided by 3 is equal to 9. So we'll get 9 over here. Now from MC, if you want to get MC, we just have to minus it. 27 minus 16, you will get it over here 11. So that's the third number over here, I mean the MC in the third stage of production, third unit of output. And next one is you have to multiply, add 27 plus cumulative addition of MC to get the TVC. So we'll get it over here, TVC is equal to 40, 27 plus 13, and this one again will divide it, 40 divided by 10, TVC by ABC, 40 by 10 equal to 40 unit of labor. So that's how we can complete the table if there is any figure missing is there. So you have to remember the different formula. So over here lot of question will come to practice, lot of question, numerical question will come to compute the cost. So you have to keep on practicing the question. If you have any difficulties, you can inform me, you can let me know, you can WhatsApp me, and then I'll be able to help you in, to solve the numerical question. So that's all today, and thank you for watching this video.